I'm gonna
Boom! Joey, we're live.
Who is it that says Boomerang?
I've got no idea who you're on about, actually. Sorry.
Someone says it, a YouTuber.
Can we... Do you know what I want to do, right? If you're watching this after the fact and you're not watching it live, can you comment the word or the words, Joey's hair is fantastic?
What makes you say that?
Is
there
like
something going on with my hair today?
Well, when I go to the barbers, you know that I do ask them for the Joey night. You know that, don't you?
Would you speak to your barber about?
Today I was speaking to him about he's going to Norway in a couple of weeks. Oh mate, yeah. Fucking hell! Right outside my barber's, someone got Sabina Ericsson's. So right outside my barber's, a woman got hit by a car today.
Oh my god!
Terrifying.
But did she do it on purpose?
No. Well, actually, to be fair, I didn't actually see the car accident. To be fair, didn't actually see the car accident. So yeah, no, wouldn't know the purpose of it. But no, she was not very well. She ended up going to hospital. It did not look good.
God.
I'll tell you what we should do before we get into this. We should just.
I'm just posting up on my story, by the way, just so you don't think that I'm, just
being a bit rude.
Me and Josh. Josh. How'd you spell that? And then
live. Tim.
Live now.
We should before we go too crazy, Joe. We should send our regards and our well wishes to the family of Diego Jota and his brother as well.
Oh my god!
Awful news. Absolutely horrendous news today. Gutting, actually.
Like there's them ones when you find out and you go,
yeah.
And then there's ones you find out, and then there's ones you find out and you go, oh, yeah. So and so. So that would usually be like, obviously not to downplay it at all, but like, I think like everyone in the boxing world knew that Muhammad Ali was like on his last legs. So when you eventually hear it, it's like, oh, and then when someone like, say, for example, I don't know, George Michael, do you remember it was Christmas Day, I believe, he died. Like, you're like, like whatever. The Jota one earlier, I was just frozen. Like, I was just like, what? Like, what? Hold on. Like, and I'm thinking, like, I watched a reel last night. I think it was a reel or a bit of content or something on social media. Right? Basically, it was Carragher, and he was saying about most natural finishes that Liverpool have ever had. And he was saying that Diego Jota is one of the best ones. And he said he's up there with your Suarez's, your Fowlers, and your... he named Suarez, Fowler, Jota, and who did he put as the fourth? Anyway, I can't remember who he put as the fourth, but basically the point was that Torres, sorry. The point was that he didn't put Michael Owen in there, and that was the sort of debate or whatever. But it's just funny because it's like, Liverpool aren't in pre-season or anything at the moment. There's no transfer rumours around him, 28 years old. It's not looking like he's on the move anytime too soon. Hasn't just come off the back of like an unbelievable season, but an unbelievable season in terms of honours won and whatnot. Yeah. So there was no reason even for me to last night be sat there having a think about Diego Jota. Like, but I was. And then this morning you wake up to that and it's just... Yeah, it goes to show you in the grand scheme of things, and this sounds really dark and down, but how insignificant we are. And I think that is something that can actually inspire you to live a more inspiring life.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, 28 years old when he passed away. I think his brother was even younger.
26, his brother was, I think, a couple of years younger.
There you go. So, yeah, literally, we're in our 30s now. I think with everyone, when you hear of cases like this, footballers that you look up to and admire that are younger than you as well, that pass away, I mean, it hits home super. It hits home super hard. And I know so many other people, like, all over Twitter today, so many people have the same reaction as you, just shock that it's even happened. So, sorry, I don't necessarily want to talk about this case for the entirety of the live stream, but I just wanted to get that out up front, that we very much send our condolences to the Jott family and to everyone involved. To be honest with you, all the Liverpool fans as well. I'm sure they're absolutely devastated as well. I've seen a few videos from Liverpool fans just again aghast, don't know what to say. So yeah.
Do you know what? I was happy that Liverpool won the title from a perspective of purely like, you know, football camaraderie in terms of Arsenal not winning it. Not that they put up much of a fight for it either way, regardless. But now to have that as, you know, and I think his last ever goal actually against Everton as well.
Yeah.
To have that as your final contribution. I mean, yeah, in football at least, his final contribution in life, so to speak. He literally got married 4 days ago. That is why you just do not know what is coming for you, what's around the corner.
Yeah,
it's mental.
Yeah,
it's mental.
Yeah, when you get caught up in the everyday, you know, the usual stuff that you get on with your daily lives, like you and I just sat usually at a desk working away. As I've got older, that time tends to blur into one in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? When you're sat at a desk just working your arse off. And I think what moments like this do is you sort of just like, fucking hell, there's a lot more to life. And you've got to savour every moment, haven't you? So, yeah, very sad one. Very, very sad one. Very sad one. But shall we say hello to a few people that are joining the live stream? We've got lots of you joining on YouTube, and obviously we are also live on TikTok. If you haven't yet liked the video, please do so, because then that will help a few more people get in here.
Are we live on the old tickers?
We are live on the old tickers.
How are we doing? Because you know that I'm locked out of everything. And you know I told you I've been busy, right?
Yeah.
The lockout begins as soon as the phone comes back.
Okay.
EE text me. No, they text me, then they rung me.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we got your phone, blah, 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 whatever. So that was this morning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, okay, I'm working. I said, are you working all day? He said, yeah. I said, what time are you open till? He was like, yeah, whatever. I said, all right. I said, do I need whatever? They said, oh, you need this stuff on you. No, I didn't have this stuff at my house. I knew I wouldn't have time to go and get it. So I said, oh, it's Callum in, who's the manager. And they were like, yeah. I said, oh, well, he knows me. So, like, it should be fine, whatever. And I didn't even get time to go and get my phone. And one of the main reasons I want my phone is because, one, I am kind of, I'd say at this point, in denial with not having my online banking apps. So to put that into perspective, my online banking apps went the day that my phone broke when I went on holiday. And I've not had them since, my friend.
Okay. So it could be really nice.
No, the damage
could be awful.
It could be catastrophic damage to the old online banking. Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to go and get them for that reason. But one of the reasons I need to go and get them is because also I'm logged out of my Google accounts, which means I'm logged out of my YouTube, which means I don't have YouTube Studio, which means I don't know how videos are going down. So why don't you fill me in? How is the latest video going down? And why don't you remind me, because I am a complete idiot, what even is the latest video?
What a life you lead where you don't know that. I love it. I absolutely love it. The latest video was the Sarah Everard video, which we discussed on the last live stream. I believe, if I'm correct in saying, it's number 4 out of 10. It's on 27,000 views.
Solid.
So far, which is very solid. No, I'm chuffed with reception of that video, to be fair. It was a longer one. You might not notice it was an hour and 15 minutes of that video. So yeah, you know, more of a commitment for people to watch. But yes, I thought that was a very good case. And actually,
can I ask you a question?
People have asked. Yeah, go on.
Of all of the criminals, all of the killers, everyone that we've covered during the true crime, you get one free hit. You can kill one of them. Don't know whether I'm allowed to be talking about this on YouTube. You get one free hit. You can take one of them on a nice date to Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Presuming that they aren't already there. First of all.
Hmm.
Presuming that they aren't already there.
You can become a magician, make one disappear.
I think that there's a very strong argument about Mick Philpott.
I think there's a very strong argument there.
I think out of all of them, that's a strong argument. I would say I'm trying to think of an alternative.
Sake, man. Josh, can you wait?
Go on, I can wait. Here we go. So, we're still here, guys. Don't you worry about that. Let us know in the comments of this live chat, and I'll do a little a hello to all of you in a second. But let us know what person from any of our videos you would also like to take on a date to Hell's Kitchen. Let us know. I don't think you're going to be able to beat Mick Philpott. Let me just say hello to a few people in the chat, and especially the channel members. We have got Schmadden. Welcome to the live stream, my friend. We got Joe Welsh Hall. Welcome to the live stream. Jack Bennett, Joshua Loftus, Liquid Swords, Little Miss Ems, and Vicky Ings, the members legends. But I know that there are loads of you also on here as well. Hello, Joey.
Right, you were missing some obvious ones.
Go on.
For me, it would be between I want to do. I want to do Huntley or Cousins.
Yep.
Michael Adebolajo. Quite like to. I mean, there's not really anyone on the list that I wouldn't like to. I think the one I would like to the most. I mean, Ian Huntley, you really want to because of the fact of how the crimes were committed against such innocent members of society. But at the same time, I feel like I hate Wayne Cousins more.
Okay.
I don't know. I hate them both, but I really fucking hate Wayne Cousins.
I mean, how can you argue with 6 kids, Mick Philpott? How can you argue with that?
Yeah.
It's a tough one, that is. What a horrible question. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd want to get rid of all of them, to be honest with you. If I could. We've covered some little sick fuckers, but fuck me, there's a few cases that we've not necessarily got coming up, but that are on the roadmap that could be much worse. We've had, by the way, someone just asked, how do I become a member? I have to answer this question, Joey. Sorry, humour me for a second. There is a link in the description of this video. If you click that, it will take you directly to the page where you can become a member. And not only do you get that, but obviously you'll get a little shout out on the stream. Videos I should say up to 48 hours early, and also members only live streams. So if you do want to join that, have a look. Everyone on TikTok, hello, also do the same thing. Go and check out our YouTube channel, please.
Hayley Havoc was saying that she'd like us to cover the Elliot Rodgers case, then that she'd particularly like to know my view on that case. Do you know the Elliot Rodgers case?
I don't, so tell me about it.
Elliot Rodgers. He was like one of these incel.
Oh, the guy that filmed himself, who was like a really like straight edge. Yeah.
And he's like,
I do know him.
He's like,
he was super
just
awkward.
sat watching the sunset.
Yeah.
When this couple happened to start thundering in front of me. Why can't girls look at me like that? Why is no one interested in me? These jocks are pathetic.
He had a pretty successful YouTube channel, I've heard.
Oh, mate. If he had gone to my school.
What would you have done?
Oh, honestly. Elliot Rodgers. I mean, I went to an all-boys school, so he could have got Rogered. No, I'm joking. No. Elliot Rodgers. No, he just would have got terrorized, proper terrorized. By the way, we haven't actually got sound effects. Josh just has his window
I'm just
open,
farting massively. I think it might be time very soon to do some American cases. Can I tell you a case that I have read a book about, which you'll be surprised, Joey. I do actually read a book every now and then. And I've also...
Have you ever watched Dodgeball?
Yeah.
You know Ben Stiller
when he gets
goes,
the dictionary
when
out.
he goes, I read it in a book.
But then he comes out and tries to flirt with that girl when he's holding a dictionary.
Yeah.
Read it cover to cover. And also some films I've watched. Columbine case. I would love to cover the Columbine case.
Yeah. Don't tell me their names. Damien and someone.
I don't remember their names, to be fair. But yeah,
Columbine, Damien, one Ben and Damien.
that sounds
The
about right.
Columbine massacre. Ben and Damien. No, I completely got it wrong. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold.
I mean, you could have got away with that.
Really?
That sounded... Well, no, as in it sounded legit.
Okay.
If you'd said that with confidence, you could have got away with it.
So for anyone that doesn't know about the Columbine case, to just give you a quick little summary of it, Columbine was a high school in what state, Josh?
Was it in Michigan?
Columbine was in Colorado.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
Sense.
Yeah, basically 2 kids at school. Not from the accounts that like I've watched back, and I'm just going on, you know, not looking into the case and researching it just from memory, from documentaries and stuff. Not actually kids that were like actively being bullied and picked on and stuff like that, but definitely not cool kids.
Yep.
And they started to have fantasies about school shootings, and they started to film themselves in almost like weird home movies that, you know, people, their parents included, probably just thought, God, good job these two have got each other, because they ain't got no fucking chance of making friends with anyone else. There was actually a third one as well, by the way. There was a third one who wasn't involved. Anyway, 2 of them, Eric Klebold and the other kid, the guy whose name I nearly got right, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, they go and shoot up the school, and they murder 13 students
And maimed and injured several more.
One teacher. So I believe the amount of deaths in total, 16 deaths in total.
Yeah. And that instigated the mandate to have sort of like metal detectors in high schools in America, and sort of...
Hold on, by the way, what the 2 kids, Eric and Thingy, were they shot?
They it was a ending themselves kind of... Yeah. It was
the boat's going down, I'm going down with it.
It was one of those, yeah. It was one of those.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of footage, CCTV footage from inside the school as well, which is just haunting. Like, they're carrying around like semi-automatic rifles in the middle of the school.
I'll give you an interesting one.
Come.
What about the fella that shot out from the top of is it the
the
Mandalay
Las
Bay?
Vegas. Yes, that would be a really good one to cover
Over the music festival.
Yeah.
And obviously there were multiple theories as to why he did it. Like afterwards, a lot of people were saying like stress from work, things like that. But they looked it up, and he wasn't in like bad debts or anything like that. And a lot of people ended up saying that basically, or there was a conspiracy theory, and this the reason why it does fall into the sort of conspiracy theory section is because they were saying that he actually did it as an act to show how poor the relaxation of gun laws were, and how you could store that amount of artillery and firearms in the States.
I mean, he literally had sort of hotel staff carrying flight cases, boxes of weapons and ammunition and grenades and things like that all the way up to the roof. I mean, that was the amount of stuff that he had. By the way, over 850 people injured in that shooting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is chaos, that one.
Stephen Paddock was his name.
Stephen Paddock, yeah. The pad dog.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Sam. All right, lads. Back from my hair transplant. Day 2 of recovery. Itchy phase. Keep up the good work anyway.
Ooh.
That itchy phase is shit. How's Jacob getting on with his hair transplant?
He's recovering from the kickoff comments. Don't know if you heard about that. Bless him.
No, what happened?
They just ripped him apart in the kickoff comments, which we should have probably said at the front, like Jacob's had a hair transplant. You know, give him a bit of slack. But he didn't shave.
Do you know I've been booted from the kickoff?
Why'd you say that?
me. Oh yeah, do you not know this?
No. Go on.
Yeah, me and Brian have had a falling out, and I've been booted from the kickoff in the pain game.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
To
be fair, I can understand why.
Yeah. When was I live? I was live yesterday, and someone told me that in the chat.
Oh, so someone told you in the chat.
Someone told me.
Yeah. What a horrible way to find out.
I know. I would have wanted to at least find out myself.
Yeah. I have. I don't know if you even know this.
What?
I don't know if you know this, but there's something big coming up. Not too far away. Something very big.
Involving me?
Yeah.
When you say not too far away, how far away?
Just say I'm gonna leave it at this. I won't say any more, but there's gonna be a lot of people there. Put it that way. A lot of people there.
Oh, good.
You can't say it. You can't say it.
No. Something I can make though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think so. Unless you tell me otherwise.
Well, you know that I'm unavailable around the end of August.
I do know that. It's much sooner than that.
I know what you're on about. Yeah. Sick. What? That's all confirmed, is it?
Yeah, near enough.
Oh, quality.
Near enough.
And I'm not fighting this year, so we can just get smashed.
Yeah. Congratulations, Sam. Good luck to you, my friend. I hope it comes in well. Going back to your question, Jacob is doing very well. The hair is coming back in, and he didn't have to shave the top of his head, which is a shitter when you have to do that. So yeah, he's chuffed.
And what is your connection? How have you got this? What is happening? Because if I was ever going to have a hair transplant, now would probably be the time to do it.
We did a deal with this company, didn't we?
But look, right? I mean, you can see my hairline.
I think it looks fantastic.
My hairline, there's nothing wrong with it. But here's my little thing. And chat, you lot, just be honest with me. Just tell me, is this me being weird or is this a thing? Can you see these two patchy bits here?
Chat, I think that Joey's hair looks fantastic.
They're a little bit patchy. A little bit patchy.
So, if we need to make that happen, Joey, you can always go for a top up whenever you like.
Can I tell you what I would like to cover one day?
Yes.
And this is as the channel branches out, and obviously, I'm moving house like next week.
You told me that was happening. I didn't know it was going to be next week, but that's good news.
Yeah. But then obviously being there for hopefully a short amount of time, and then hopefully being somewhere where we can set up a good studio. But yeah, and then once we do that, the work rate can go through the roof. We can be doing other stuff and probably more American subjects and stuff like that. And one of the things which just leads me on to is a TV show that was an all-time favorite of mine, which I would love to be able to react to cover in some form of capacity.
Can I guess it?
Go on.
Is it an American show? Is it reality TV?
Yep.
Is it? There's one that's a worse version of this, but I'm going to start off with the easy one. Is it Cheaters?
No.
Is it To Catch a Predator?
To Catch a Predator.
Yeah. You see, I went for a safer option. I should have just gone dark straight away.
What a show.
Chris Hansen. Take a seat.
Why don't you take a seat?
Why don't you just take a seat?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, you could do that, and why don't we do that alongside some?
I love it when he's just like,
takes.
There's two blokes, There's two blokes. They both know they're well too old for either to be having this conversation. And Chris Hansen, who's like 45 at the time, pulls up this bit of paper, looks at this 50-year-old and goes, You could spank me and call me daddy. What did you mean by that? Mate, it was like the most awkward show. You know, you're watching these evil people, like they're nonces. I would have them shot at birth, mate. Right? If you could guarantee that one's gonna be like that, right? They're gonna be a nonce, right? And I just still can't help but watch it and just be like cracking up at some of them, like. He thought he was going to get away with it. That was so funny when he tried to run. And there was some, like, I remember there was one bloke that turned up with his kid, like, what, sick fuck, you know what I mean? And it got cancelled in the end because the guy... Yeah.
It was a fantastic show. What channel was that on in the UK? Can you remember?
I believe... So it was Dateline NBC in... NBC was the station, Dateline. I believe, and you'll find this weird, but I think it was picked up by MTV over here.
Was it?
Yeah,
I remember seeing that on MTV.
Where else
I think it might have been Discovery. I think it might have been Discovery or Bravo.
But Discovery and Bravo a little bit more so, but it wouldn't have been Discovery in those days
because it was too safe.
No, but in those days it would have been like Paramount. You were talking 2005, 2006.
No, Discovery existed in that time period. It was
5. I weren't watching it on that. I weren't watching it on that.
5, 12 or something.
In fact, it was probably some of the first stuff that I was watching on YouTube.
Can you remember the actual Sky channels for those channels? Like, what was MTV back in the day?
All I can tell you is 401.
Yeah.
Sky Sports News.
Yeah. 402
Sky Sports 1, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
All the way up until 417 Chelsea TV, although Chelsea TV didn't actually, you paid a add-on subscription, but it didn't actually get the games.
Yeah.
So shit, really.
What about the 900s?
Like Babe Station and all that.
Any specific number in the 900 you watch quite often?
I fucked the bird that worked on Babe Station.
Do you wanna name and shame?
I don't want it for my own pride. She's disgusting. Filth.
Oh dear.
Every time they put her on camera, they thought the cable would cut out on the phone lines. They just went.
Why? Because you kept dialing in.
No, because no one was calling.
You're a fucking liar. You're an absolute liar. We've got a super chat, my friends. Can I read this out to you? Do you think there's a chance? And it's from Stephen Reside, and he's donated £5. Thank you very, very much, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Do you think that there's a chance of Venables and Thompson right to anonymity being lifted as it should?
No, I don't think there's any chance of that happening. I think that we might be the generation that lives through the change, and every sort of like 100 years or so, there is a huge change. So, our parents' generation are living through it at the moment, and I suppose, every generation in some form or capacity lives through it. Our grandparents.
What do you describe as the change
in the war? The change for me would be societal change when we, like, say for example, I couldn't think of many people that I've not, like, obviously people that I've met and have done wrong to me in my life. I can say I hate, but I don't really hate anyone. But you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't think of many people I've not met that I'd say, I hate him, because how could you? Because you've not met them. But I could say that about a Keir Starmer, and I could say that about most people in government and stuff like that. And I think that it's a disgrace what our tax money is spent on. It's a disgrace how our government treat us, and it's a disgrace how this country is run in so many ways on so many levels.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Do you vote?
Do I vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every time.
When
did you first vote?
I didn't vote until Brexit.
And you voted in that referendum.
So I would have been what? When was Brexit?
I believe I was working in an advertising agency. I reckon that would have been 2016, 17-ish.
Yeah, so I would have been like, yeah, like 22.
That's when you first voted.
So what is that? About
And
6 years
did you
after?
vote? Did you vote in the subsequent general election after that?
Yeah, I think I've voted. I
Yeah.
think I've gone to the polling station at a little primary school near me and voted.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not giving you enough credit. I just didn't think you'd be a voter.
I probably wouldn't be if my dad didn't call me up and say, make sure you go down and vote.
Does he tell you who to vote for?
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And do you always listen?
Yeah.
Love it.
Most of the time, wouldn't even ask.
Wouldn't even ask him who he's voting for. Oh, we've lost Joey. We have lost Joey. He'll be back in 2 seconds. Don't you worry about that. 1 second. Let me get Joey back in. He's going to be joining. Here he is. 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 Oh, sorry, Joey. I've let you go.
Well, you're the ones with all the sirens going off, my friend. So we're even.
You can't hear the siren.
I can kind of hear them. I can hear them.
I turned my mic off. You couldn't hear them then.
Yeah, no, I do know my stuff, like, to a certain extent. I don't like to get involved in, like, political things and stuff like that, but just basically I hate them. Like, I hate them for what they done to us. I hate them for the time they took away with me, from me with family members and stuff like that. I've hated them ever since the lockdown stuff. I hate that I've lost people because of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I know this for a fact. Like, I know I've lost people because of them, and I hate that. So I just don't like government. So when we go back to, like, when we were saying about change, and we're going back to saying about that change, will we be part of a change where we change from what we see as like a soft government who will protect the rights of nonces and kiddie fiddlers and stuff like that, but will hang out to dry, you know, people that have committed way less serious crimes and things like that? I don't know if I'll be here for that change, you know what I mean? But one day
I think that change could happen in the next parliament, potentially, to be honest with you. I think that change could happen. Can we just shout out another super chat? Because we've got another one from another channel member, legend in Hannah Lucy.
Hannah Lucy has the same name as someone. There's a Hannah Lucy, isn't there?
Yeah, It feels like there's an X on the beach, Hannah Lucy.
Is there an X on the beach or Love Island?
Joey, before we get into this, I saw Gem Lucy on her podcast recently. Have you seen Gem Lucy recently?
No, but maybe Gem Lucy is who I'm thinking of. I haven't seen her recently. No, she looking well.
She looks like she's seen a consultant once or twice. I'll give her that. I'll give her that. But anyway, should we go back to the proper Lucy? That is Hannah Lucy. She says, love the channel, boys. I always have you on while working from home, wishing days away for the football season returning. Now, there's not too many days left until the football season returns. It's coming around pretty soon. You'll be setting up your fancy team.
What work are you doing from home?
There you go.
Listening to us and not much.
And also, next time, Hannah, get a question in and we'll answer it. Anytime you do the super chat, we'll get the answer straight away. Yeah, no. The tickets for the Chelsea pre-season games at Stamford Bridge are on sale today. Actually, if you want to get some
tickets to what?
The tickets for the 2 pre-season matches on August the 8th and August the 10th at Stamford Bridge are.
How many can you buy at once?
If you're a season ticket holder, you can buy 4.
4.
Yes. And then it will go for members shortly, and then everyone else.
But can you only buy them in your thing, or could you buy them in the Matthew Arden or whatever?
I can only buy them in my general area around my seat, personally. But you'll be able to get tickets, mate. The season ticket holders won't be buying those. So
I might text Matty Dav. I want to go to one of them, but they're like 2 days apart, aren't they? The 2 games.
Yeah, it's a Friday night and a Sunday daytime. So
I'll go to the Friday night.
Yeah,
that'll be probably what I do for my birthday, to be honest, because it's 8th and 10th of August.
Yes.
So
yeah. That'd be a good one. That'd be good. No, I'm looking forward to those. 8th and 10th of August, less than a month away. Well, sorry, just over a month away. That's gonna be good. We just got another super
31
chat.
years old. Yep.
Just got another super chat from Triple R. £5. Thank you very, very much for your donation.
No, that's not how it's pronounced, mate.
Okay, go on then.
It's a triple R.
What's that?
Well, could you pronounce it for us?
Did you know Jake can't do that?
Well,
He can't do that noise. Jake
why?
cannot do that. He just doesn't have like the I don't know, the linguistic
the tongue capacity
ability.
to do it.
Yeah.
God.
Joey, some of us have got it and some of us don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Feel sorry for any woman that ends up with him. Not that I would know anything about that. Let's get back to the super chat.
Go on, read out the chat for me.
Triple R said BKFC just did a big event in Brum last weekend. I think it would be a cool idea if Misfits did a BKB once a year. Could be as solid as like Extreme Rules WWE. Who you been talking to? No, yeah, that would be interesting. I know yours truly would be eager to get involved. I'm up for it. I'm up for anything.
I think you'd be really good in the WWE.
Oh, I was on about BKB.
No, but I think you'd be really good in the WWE though. I think you would. I think you'd be really good to it.
I don't know. Thank you very much, Triple R, for the super chat. Anyway, we will obviously always be prioritising the super chats. And we've got another one that's come in from the big dog, Joshua Loftus. Never misses a stream. And he has said, all right, people, a bit of a different super chat for me today. Just wanted to say thanks for this extra live. Really what I needed, getting me through this hard time. Joshua Loftus, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through a hard time, bro. Really, really sorry to hear that. And thank you very much for the super chat. I'm glad that the streams are doing that. I'm so thankful that we have landed in a space where we can sit, talk unstructured shit, just chat, and it actually has, you know, the best part of 100 people at any one time in here sitting, watching. You know, people are donating out of their own pockets, things like that, and enjoying it. And it's easy listening. The easy listening, if I could ever fucking pronounce it, is some of the best things you can be, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah. Do you know what's funny about that comment is it hits home quite hard for me, because I remember when I was sort of like early 20s, just getting into work and that sort of thing. I was going through a really tough time in my life, and it's really funny because Brian was one of those people that I used to watch when I was getting a bit down, and he'd always cheer me up. So to be that kind of person for Josh, it's very nice actually.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Because that's the exact same for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I used to sit in my back garden.
Did you?
Or in Thailand, smoke weed and watch True Geordie videos.
This is the thing. It's quite funny actually, because obviously now, you know, I see people coming up to Brian all the time when we're together, and that is such a common thing that people will say. They say that you've got me through a really tough time in my life, and I really, really appreciate it. So big up to Brian.
Would you have ever gone over to him if you hadn't known him? You had seen him out and about?
Do you know what? In my older life, as I've got older, I wouldn't do it now.
No.
But back then, and this is how I met Brian, because I did do it. But yeah, back then I would have gone up to them. Yeah, 100%.
I think I'm the same as that. I think if I was like 22 or something, I'd have probably gone, "Hey, True Geordie, you're a legend." Yes, bruv, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like not like gone over and tried to have an interaction, but just like whatever, saying like that if I see him. Or like if I walk past them, maybe we just went like, "Love your stuff, mate," or something like that. But like in my older life, maybe I wouldn't. But then sometimes I tie that into industry life as well, and I'm like, hold on, is that just because you're now not phased by stuff as much? What you just?
I don't think it's phased. You know what it is now is I've seen you know, in my time I've come across a few celebs and whatever, and YouTube talent and whatever, and they always say like when you get to that level, sometimes it interferes with your life. Do you know what I mean? Like it when you're trying to go out for a quiet dinner. So I'm always very sensitive now to people's privacy. Do you know what I mean? And their own sort of like independent time. So I think that's the main reason why. Now
I clocked a couple of people in Marbella.
Did you? Doing what?
Nothing. Just like one person in the gym, and then one person just out in the street, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But never spoke. What one of them, I sort of half thought, oh, he pretty know me, so I sort of looked and then didn't whatever. But yeah, I just never really. I don't know, like. I feel like I do so even less now, but I get cooler opportunity. I feel like, you know, that hunger or that thirst that you might have to do that. And there's a super chat that's going to come in, so I'm going to read it out just quickly. But you know, that hunger or that little bit of thirst, little bit of desire that you might have to have that interaction with people. Yeah. I feel like I get my fix. Do you know what I mean? So like when you go Misfits and you're knocking about with, I don't know, God knows, for a couple of days, or when we're out in Saudi and we're talking about Lennox Lewis and David Hay and people like that.
I was going to ask you, would you have gone up to David Hay if you saw him?
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
Even with the fact that you know he's watched the show now and likes you.
Oh, what, now would I go up to him?
No, as in before we met him.
No, not if I didn't know he liked me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not if I didn't know he liked me. Like, it was joke when David Hay walked into the room, because he was like, obviously he knows Trav and KG.
Yeah.
And everyone knows Brian. Do you know what I mean? Like, the only person that, because you're not on camera as much, as a chance like you and a few other camera guys and whatnot, might not, whatever. But like in my head, I'm thinking he's not going to know who I am either.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he was like, Joey Knight. And I was like,
I loved that moment. And also, can I just say, you weren't even there, but the Daniel Dubois moment where he just goes, "Where's Joey?" It was just like, Brian cracked up so much.
Mate, Hay for me, like, that was like my childhood hero just come in. And then like the funny thing is with it is we had that, like, the thing we have with when we say about like saying hi to someone or pulling someone for a picture and stuff like that, like, as I say, we more than get our fix, because although if I took a picture with every person I've come across that has a big profile and whatnot, then I'd have a million pictures of a million people, because in a short amount of time, year, 2 years, I've met and been able to been in the same place. You know, Eddie Hearn. I could have said, Eddie, let me get a quick picture, but you know how I am. I just don't do them things and whatever. But I feel like
I thought you got a picture with Eddie.
Nah, I never got a picture of Eddie. No. But I feel like I've made up for that tenfold in the actual significant moments we've had. Like, you know, me and Lennox Lewis arguing over a Tyson Fury fight, and it's like, hold on, not arguing, but, you know, debating. And I'm like, I'm debating with the former undisputed heavyweight world champion. Like, the last, it's just mad. Yeah. Mad, but yeah, another really, really interesting super chat. And sorry to make you wait for so long. Maya Hardwood, thank you so much for partly covering my auntie's case. Heather Barnett, you smashed it.
This is amazing feedback. Thank you so much for watching the video in the first place. This is
Maya,
crazy.
I'd love to know. I really, really, really hope you're still in here. I'd love to know, because obviously you've watched the video, and obviously firstly and foremost our sincere condolences for what happened to your auntie Heather Barnett. Absolute disgusting, horrible piece of shit, Danilo Restivo. If you did watch the video, I'd just love to know, what are your thoughts on it in terms of our linking Danilo Restivo to the previous murder that happened 2 roads behind a year or so before? What are your thoughts on that? Did you have any? Did you watch the video to that length? And if she's your auntie, I'm assuming maybe you live in the area. Is there any? Could you give us any tea, any gossip? Is there people in the area that feel that Omar Bengari is an innocent man? Is it spoke about in the area, or is it something that's forgotten about now? Things like this, follow up of things like this, always really, really interest me. I did say last time that I'd had
I don't know why that keeps happening. I don't. What a moment that is, by the way, when he's literally midway through his thought. He'll come back in a second here. Let me get him back in. Let me get him back in. What a crazy moment! Just as he was about to go for it. Thank you very much for that, though, Maya. I would love to. What I was about to say to Jerry there is, oh, here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Here you are. You are. You're back. You're back.
No,
Go on.
I'm that time.
I know. I got you. You're back in though.
Have we got? Sorry, what was we just talking about?
I was just talking. I was just saying to Maya, thank you very much for sending the message. And also, I was about to say, I would love to do maybe it's a live stream, maybe it's an episode where we get some of the people that have reached out to us that are connected to the cases and get a bit more of I don't know, like a follow up to our video.
Yes.
And how it's affected them. That would be interesting, really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we've had plenty of people reach out and plenty of people that I do think could have interesting contributions. 100%,
very much so.
For sure. And speaking of those, someone's asked about the Levi Belfield case. So I'll just give you guys the rundown on two certain cases, right? In any normal scenario, you would expect us to have probably covered or be about to cover the Levi Belfield case and the Raoul Moat case, two very notorious killers from the UK. And they are cases that we're obviously wanting to cover. They're cases that we lived through, remembered, followed, and we're intrigued by. However, we've got two kind of, well, I want to call them connections. In one case, a connection, and then someone that would have an intrigue. So with the Levi Belfield case, I actually know someone who knew Levi Belfield really, really well for about 25, 30 years or something like that. Knew him really well to an extent where he had a business with him at one point. They were business partners at one point. And had some really interesting stories, stuff like that. So when we do that Levi Belfield one, I'd very much like to get that person on. It's like my dad's best friend. It's a former unlicensed boxing champion, traveller, turned professional golfer.
Wow.
And author, had a book written.
And is he an internet personality as well?
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel, Cushy TV.
There you go.
Yeah, Joe.
Shout out to Cushy TV.
Yeah. And then the other one, the Raoul Moat one, people can guess. There's no point in me not trying to say it. We want to do it with Brian. We think it'd be really interesting to get Brian on it. Really, so ideally, hopefully soon we can nail down a date with him. But I'm ready when you are, mate. To be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. We should definitely go up there soon.
Bloody hell! Right, listen. Vicky Ings, thank you so much, Vicky, for the super chat. 19.99. That's so grateful. We're so grateful. That's so generous. I was gonna say of you. Really, really appreciate that. Just to say thank you for putting out amazing content. I'll do it right this time. Need to do some artwork for you too. Thanks, lads. Thank you so much, Vicky. We're really, really appreciative of that. And yeah, anyone wants to draw us, let us know. Just make us look handsome.
Make us look beautiful. Exactly.
Always get our good sides.
Exactly.
Maya. I'm not too sure.
I'm gonna go Maya, Joey.
Maya. I'm gonna go Maya. Yeah. They never seem to have heard of either murder.
She said something earlier. She said everyone thinks that Omar is innocent. We all think that Yong Ok Shin, along with Heather, was murdered by the horrible Danilo. It's not much of a big case here in Bournemouth. Wow. Whenever I tell people about it, they never seem to have heard of either murder. Too many coincidences for him not to have been the murderer. How mad is that she says it's not a big case in Bournemouth? I would say that's the most important thing that has happened in Bournemouth, or the most newsworthy thing that's happened in Bournemouth.
I don't know, mate. You got some rough bits of Bournemouth, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
You ever heard of Boscombe?
No.
Apparently it's rough.
Really?
God.
Sorry, I'm just blocking someone for being very offensive in the chat.
Well, what they said.
You don't want to know and they're very much blocked. We got another.
Luke Cowgate said, Vicky's a baller. How are you, lads? Luke, I'm good, my friend. How are you, mate? How are you? That's what I want to know. Josh, how are you doing?
Me, I'm great. I'm
How are you
absolutely.
mentally
I'm.
right now?
I'm absolutely. Well,
Because you got a
better.
move going. You got a move going through. Am I allowed to tell people this? Can I
It's
just tell
not
people all
going.
your?
Well, it's not going through. I'm hopefully going to sell it. Yeah.
You're trying to sell your house.
Yeah.
It's filled with mold, falling apart, and
It's.
papered over the cracks
It's
wouldn't
actually
even
a
be the word.
beautiful flat.
It's rizzled over the cracks.
Yeah.
And there's probably to be fair, we're on what are we on?
I love. Why you?
We're on Thursday, and we've only had 2 stabbings outside all
Why?
week so
Why are
far.
you?
So
Why are you sharing what your flat is like when you're describing mine? Because I'll tell you one thing, Joey. I don't own any Rizzler paper, but I know someone that does. No, it's all good. I just hope that it goes through, mate. That's the main thing. To be honest with you, it's taking a long time. Speaking of compliments on, we talked about your hair earlier on. Judd God said, "Not hard for the most attractive duo in the industry." Judd is just fishing for us to read out the comment, and I will read it out when he says that.
Who is an attractive duo?
On YouTube.
Anywhere. Ant and Dec, anyone. Who's good? Who's quite attractive?
Do you know who was Vernon Kay going out with back in the day?
Can't remember.
Was it Tess? They were both presenters. Tess Daly. They were a good looking pair.
I'll tell you who's good.
Go on then.
Frankie Lampard and Christine Bleakley.
Yeah. Are they? Do they do stuff together?
No, they don't do nothing together. I just wanted to talk about Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I don't blame you. To be fair, I don't blame you. To be fair, couple of rookies I've heard are quite good. Any other duos?
Luke Cowgate said, "Oh my cousin was going out with that girl that was killed. It's mental."
Oh wow!
It was the one on the beach. It was right near the beach. Yeah. Is there any cases you don't want to cover as it's too disturbing? I've said this before myself personally. Yeah, Axel Rudicabana. Because you got to remember that it's like 2 weeks of my life. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like a week of my life, like researching, getting the details right, getting the prep for the case done right, and then another week of my life editing it up into short form content, stuff like that. And then obviously also the personal questions that come there with like, do you know what I mean? Like I don't have these things because we have a true crime channel, and I'm proud of it, and I'm fine with it, and I'm also not like insecure or ashamed about the thing of admitting I'm a lover of like that morbid curiosity, morbid fascination, stuff like that. That's why we've got a passion in it. But at the same time, there's certain stuff that I'm like, do I even want to put this out? Do you know what I mean? With me talking about this. So that's the one case for me. That's the only case that I'm just like, I find it so hard. I just don't, I don't think I could sit there and have a controlled conversation over it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's really weird because there's like incidents that are almost worse and whatnot and whatever that we have, but it's do you know what it is for me? Because it's like, like we sat and spoke about the 3 girls that were locked up in the house for 10 years and everything that went on there and whatever. But do you know what it is for me? Cool. It's the fact it's girls of that age.
Yeah.
Because then for me, the first thing is like, that's my daughter's age. That's my daughter's age. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I just couldn't really cover it.
Fair point. Luke, how?
But it'd be a good case. People would like the case.
I mean, it's one that I'm sure people are desperate that we cover. Luke Halgate did another donation, Joey. Never come to Bournemouth. I'm from here. It's terrible. Thank you very much for your donation, Luke Halgate. Another £5. Really appreciate you as always.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Just having a little look at the... I think the Mark Bridger case would be interesting. A sick, evil man who ended the life of an innocent child. Yeah, I think that Mark Bridger case would be a good one. I remember also, Joe, I think you said the Babe P case. Yeah, Babe P would be a very hard one for me to cover. I always find unsolved cases so fascinating. The fact someone can just vanish is insane. Normally they don't vanish. Normally they're killed and hidden.
Sure.
But
do you know what I was going to say? the Baby P thing made me think about this as well. We should tell these guys about the breaking news of the potential documentary. Do you remember I told you about this the other day? Lucy
No.
Letby.
She's been found innocent.
No.
No.
A television company has reached out to us.
Aha.
And
Bingo.
they want to use a clip from one of our episodes talking about Lucy Letby in a very well-known television channel's documentary. And that would be a mad moment. Especially in that case, which we basically said should have been looked into and really is still unsolved, to be fair, that they're now looking into it.
Mad.
It's very
Unfortunately, we're not going to be on it because Josh, as acting manager, said to them it is 100 grand or nothing. And they went with the nothing on that one, didn't they?
No, they didn't actually.
Whereas what we should have done
they didn't
is
actually.
we should have gone, it's 100 grand or it's, £100.
Yeah. That's not how it worked, Jerry.
2 options. And then at least some sort of way you're coming away with something.
Yeah. That's not how it works. Just to confirm that.
Nah,
but that would be mad. Do you know what? If Channel 4 said to you now, we're doing a video on Omar Bengwa, and we're re-looking into the case, and we want you to be a talking head in the episode, would you just immediately just say yes?
Yeah, because do you know what it is? Because there's not enough eyeballs and attention on that case that I actually think there's that many people that much more qualified than me to speak on it that weren't there or weren't involved. So rule out everyone that was like in court, a witness, a suspect or whatever, anyone that was involved in there, and we're just going into then people that could speak on it that have just learnt about it from scratch. I don't think there's more than 3-4 people in the UK that would be more qualified to talk in it than me and you.
Well, I think, if you're going to do an interview with anyone and you're going to ask
I'll be better than her.
And if you were going to go to Bournemouth and try and find some information out, I think you would be the best person imaginable to do that interview.
I saw her on something the other day. I'm trying to think.
I've never seen her on anything other than that documentary. Never, ever.
I have serious concerns.
I have serious concerns. We're doing this, by the way. We're doing this completely out of endearment because she actually was really good. I actually rated her on that. I'm sorry.
So let's think about it like this, right? That episode, if we were to do a part 2, what we could do is we could organise a sit-down interview with his sister.
Yes.
We could do like a 20-minute recap of the case, Organise a sit-down interview with his sister, make sure that keeps to like 30 minutes, so that's 50 minutes. And then we could get 10 minutes in with him on the phone.
Which would be insane. Are they allowed to do that though? Are they allowed to do it?
Why wouldn't we be able to do that? Surely that would be easily doable, mate.
No, but as in, is a prisoner allowed to be speaking publicly on a YouTube channel?
Yeah, cool.
Legally.
As if they know.
I mean, Tiger King did it.
As if anyone knows. They don't know anyway. It's fine.
True.
No
and
then knows.
And then we'll get the Irish interviewer in as well.
And we could get it. We could get it. Like it. Look, like I'm not being funny. One thing I can tell you is prison's boring. Yeah, prison's really, really fucking boring. Yeah. So that's why whenever people are in prison, mate, all they do is call you. Like you never even hear from them, and then when they're in prison, all they do is call you. It's fucking they're bored out their mind in there, mate. And fucking, do you know what I mean? Like it is a boring place, and I think that if your sister, he's been on the phone to her, which he obviously is, we remember it from the documentary, speaks to her all the time and whatnot. If she said to him, these guys made this thing about you on YouTube and it's like, it's done quite well and the reception's been really good and positive and they paint you
in a good light.
No. Just in the truth. In a fair light. Light. They paint you in a fair light. Like, because we're not going, mate, he's a lovely bloke. Like, whatever.
No, we didn't say that.
We're going, no, mate. He did the stabbing.
He was a drug.
He did the drugs. He sold the drugs. He took the drugs, but he didn't do this killing. Yeah. Because of that, he'd like that. And I just know that we could get him for 10 minutes on the phone. I know we could. 100%.
Yeah. We should do that. We should.
And it's
definitely.
weird. And it's weird because now we just take things like that for granted.
Yeah. But do you know what? We haven't. I think it is the next step to cover and speak to people that were actually directly related to the cases. I think we have to do that now. JP CFC with Super Chat. I'm going to put you on screen right now, my friend. Thank you very, very much for the £2. Any plans to cover cases outside the UK, Joey?
Yes, we've got a few. We've got a story of a woman who was trapped inside and made it out of the Twin Towers, and then a lot of crazy stuff happened after that. I've always wanted to cover the Timothy Pitson case. There's loads. There honestly is loads. Like, basically, to cut a long story short, we're at a point at the minute where through nothing but logistical would you call it logistical restraints is stopping me and Josh being able to be together 3 days a week or so, right? And if we were, we would be able to be putting more content out, covering more cases and doing, more international cases and things like that. And, a load more stuff on a load more different fronts. But because we're not at the moment, we're not able to do it. So we've got a lot of these in the pipeline, and we're actually just at a case of getting through stuff. Like, there's never a time when we go, what should we cover? Is there? Like, we always know what we're on to next, what we're on to next, what we're on to next, what we're on to next. And that's the way our schedule it is at the minute. But long term, our goal in terms of our work together, whether it be on Joey and Josh, whether it be doing Chelsea's stuff for my channel, your channel, whatever, is try and get together more, be together more. So have the right equipment and stuff there, so that news drops, things like that, and we can cover it and be a more
straight away. And yeah, one day these live streams will be in person as well. Joey, I think we should ask these people to, if they're not already and they do want to become members, because what we're about to do right now is we're going to head over to a members only element of this lovely live stream. And as the members will attest in the chat, those live streams that are members only, they get a bit wild sometimes. If you thought that 901 and 902 was some serious content on Sky TV, you wait till you join the members only streams. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets...
Josh got his knob out on the last one.
Yeah. Brilliant. So if you do want to become a member, it's really easy. There's a link in the description. There's a big join button if you're watching on your PC down below as well. Hit that
PC. We're not in the fucking 90s.
Oh, sorry, Mac use. I'm sure your Mac is so fucking strong as well. Personal computer. For Joey, that's what it means? Were you scared of the Millennium Bug, Joey?
Nah.
You're never scared of those bugs.
I just fucking having it to Bob the Builder in the front room.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was number one. I'm pretty sure it was number one that year.
Was it?
Yeah,
wow.
Bob the Builder, and everyone, all the kids are just fucking lilted up, sugar rush. You know
Panda
what I mean?
Pops.
Yeah. I was about 6, so fucking hell.
You were having whiskey then?
I'd smoked a fag by that.
You were having neat.
I drunk a beer by 6.
Fuck off.
Of course I had.
Did you?
Not like drunk one though, more like sipped one and been like, oh yeah, it's quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the statute of limitations on parents and child abuse?
First time I got drunk.
Yeah.
First time I got drunk.
Yeah.
Would have been about 10 or 11. 10, I reckon. And that was at someone's party, some family party thing. But
and
yeah, Stella Artois, I had 6 bottles and got pissed, and yeah, it was pretty good. Never looked back.
If you're wondering why Joey is a creative genius, and you want your own children to be of the same vein, that is the road model. Do you know what I mean? Like, start them with a little bit of beer when they're 6, 11 fully drunk, and from there just go on. Do you know what I mean? That's the roadmap, isn't it, Joey?
Well, we'll go with this parting gift, right? when I got, I think it was the second week of high school, I got suspended, and I got suspended for having a fight, And my mum told me off, and then my dad hadn't come home from work in London yet, and I was shitting myself. And then when he come in, so I'd just gone into high school, and in like primary school, I don't know, like weren't really like that. Like it was only when I went to high school, I was like, fucking hell, like I had a few fights in primary school, but when I went into high school, I was like, oh, everyone's on it, like everyone's fighting and whatever. So anyway, I'm like sat there thinking, oh, he's gonna go mad at me. But obviously, then when you think about it, if you think from a father's point of view, if you said, "Oh, your kid got in trouble," the thing you'd care the least about, or you know, be least annoyed about, would be if they said, "Oh, he had a fight," because you'd be like, "Oh, okay, right, whatever." If it was like, "Oh, he's done this horrible thing, he's picked on someone, bullied someone, whatever," but it's because it's just like, "Oh, we had a fight, whatever." So anyway, my dad come into me and he was like, "Yeah." So you got suspended, and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "How long are you suspended for?" And I was like, 3 days, so I go back next week. And he was like, right. And I was like, And he went, you know, school's 4, don't you? And I went, yeah. And he went, what? And I went,
Learning.
like learning and yeah, just getting grades so you can get a job when you're older. And he went, nah. He went, school is for having fun. And I went, and he went, yeah. He went, but don't get caught. And I went, oh, all right. And he was like, yeah. And then from that point on, I never ever took school serious in the slightest. Like, not a thing a teacher could say to me. I got to a point by the age of, I don't know, what would it be? Like year 8? Year 8, year 9?
You're 13 in year 8, yeah.
By about year 9, I got
Yeah.
to a point where I was like, I'm smarter than you. I'm fucking cleverer than you. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like in up here, like with the teachers, yeah. So yeah, like I just didn't care and whatever. Some subjects, if I liked the teacher, I done well in the subject regardless. If I didn't like the teacher, I didn't do well in the subject regardless of whether I liked the subject or not. But most of the subjects I didn't like, so it's down to whether I liked the teacher. But anyway, the key point is this: all I did at school was get kicked out of the class for talking, or in trouble for talking, or trying to, you know, be the fucking center of attention, make people laugh, whatever, terrorize people, whatever. And apart from that, all I done was got in trouble for fighting. So a lot of fighting and a lot of talking and just trying to be the center of attention.
Love it. That's the way to enjoy your school years.
No, I've ended up on Misfits and a YouTuber. Trust the process.
Honestly, it is funny how it's worked, and
Trust
that is
the process.
I also say, by the way, like we never really cover this too much, but you are living your dream life, aren't you?
What do you mean?
Well, as in, like, you're doing what you're best at. You found your passion, and you found what you're the best at, and you do it for a living. Is that not?
I was pretty good at delivering furniture.
You were. Yeah, I've heard that, and delivering some other things as well. Right, let's get on the members only live stream because it's gonna get 9:02 if you know what I mean. Right. I just want to shout out Ami, you have joined as well. If anyone wants to join and get involved in this live stream, there's a link below. Join it now for the members only live streams for videos 48 hours early, etc. Get involved.
Let's go.
Right.